Hey, what's up, guys? Back with another video. This one would be a storytelling time. Gonna get right down to it. I'm a little dry. Need some more water. God, dog. My mouth dry. But anyway, let's move forward. So, excuse me for my camera, guys. Trying to keep it steady for you. So anyway, long time ago, I know I told y'all guys about me being in the alarm industry. So I was in the home security industry for years. Um, I did get out of that industry for a little minute and I moved on, which I'm going to come back and tell y'all more stories about the alarm business. I got, so many years in that industry, so I got more stories, obviously. But anyway, I want to tell y'all guys, I did move on at one time and I got into the satellite industry, DirecTV, Dish Network, excuse me, some of those companies that was out back in the day, which DirecTV, I guess Dish Network is still out. I'm not sure. I haven't been in that industry in a long, long time. But I know DirecTV still out here. So anyway, back then, I don't know if y'all guys remember when satellite had those big old satellite dishes, those big old moons in the back of people's backyards, where they used to pull down satellite TV. I want to say it was called Premiere, which eventually got bought out by DirecTV. So during that time, that's the only way people can get satellite television back in that era. So because it was only cable, and at that time, people didn't have any other options to move on from cable. So people were getting those satellite dishes, and them things was expensive. A lot of money back in that era. So anyway, when satellite TV came out with the smaller dish, that's when I got into the industry. And I want to say smaller dish came out probably somewhere in the late 90s, because that's when I ended up getting in the industry. So anyway, end up getting in the industry, end up getting in the satellite industry. And during that time, it wasn't a lot of people in it. Let's per se. No, it was really hardly nobody was in that industry. So, and I didn't even know about it. I just knew people were kind of mad about paying high cable bills. So I just went on a whim and went to go look because I got a job. They trained me on it. I ended up going out in the field. And I ended up going, of course, door to door, selling DirecTV at the time. And I'm knocking on doors. And I was peeping people's interest. People was like, yeah, I'm so sick of cable. People were just fed up because cable was going. I think at one time it was like $20, went to $60, went to $80. It kept going up. Seemed like going up all the time. People remember that had it. Cable were going up all the time in that era. So people wanted something that could take on cable at that time. So of course I'm at their door. I'm knocking on the door. So my kind of like let's just get back. Kind of like my first day out, second day out, and I'm going door to door, and I'm offering cable. People were interested. And I was like, at that time, I was like, I might got something here. I think people really kind of like something else. So let's just fast forward, probably about a week later. I started feeling a little bit more confident because I know people were really interested. I was booking appointments, going out to people's houses. And I want to say this first street, never gonna forget this street. It's called Robertson Street. That was my first street that I worked during that time. And when I worked this street, I went out, wrote a customer up. One of my very first customers in the industry, I wrote him up. And at that time, it was a really easy to get DirecTV, all you had to have a debit or credit card, and you just had to have $49 on there. So, and they would get the service, which was really cool. So I went back knocking on people's doors, and people were like, "Yeah, we interested." So I tell them $49. They was like, "Write it up." So I think I run to say I wrote about 2 people up on that block. And then I think I went back to the office. I made a little bit of money. I can't remember what the commissions was, but they were okay. You had to write a volume of people to really see some really money in that industry. So I want to say I think within that first couple weeks, I might have wrote about 5 or 6 people at that time. Didn't make a lot because I was still kind of learning the business. So, but as the weeks went by, people started calling. "Hey, where's that guy doing DirecTV? Can he come back out and see me?" So I was getting like leads every day because people was calling back everybody I talked to, and I think we had flyers or something back then. I was flyering up the doors and all that other stuff. Man, people started calling me. So next thing you know, I think I had about another 10 families on that one street call me. So I'm writing people up. Next thing you know, I'm going back, and I'm working a couple of other areas as well at that time. But this one street, just trying to build it up because I still like I'm fresh in the industry. So during that time, I don't even think I was 3 weeks into the industry. This Robinson Street was calling me. Next thing you know, I got callbacks. I wrote about 25 people in about 3 weeks. And I'm like, oh, I made a little bit of money at that time. I'm like, this might be a little serious. So I'm thinking, and I'm trying to think. At that time, I'm going back to this Robinson Street. Because at this time, I done got a little buzz on this street. I done wrote like at least 20, 25 customers. So I go back to the area. I'm flying. I'm knocking on doors. I'm talking to people. Guys, I want to say 3 weeks. Say probably in about 5 weeks. I walk into the office. The phones are lit up. Phones lit. I'm walking in there. I got all these customers that have called in through the office. They want me to come out. They want me to come out. They want me to come out. And it was crazy. I want to say within 6 weeks, I wrote 60 families. 60 families in about 4 to 6 weeks. It was like a phenomenon because everybody wanted to get away from cable television. They just wanted something else. So I started writing all these streets. So it was so crazy because at that time I was getting all these leads coming out. Everybody in the office like what I'm doing this, doing that. Because at the time when they trained us, people didn't have door-to-door skills. They just was training us to sell the product and service. Ever how you got the business, you got the business. I had a door-to-door background, so I'm out door knocking every chance I got. So everything, when I was walking into the office every single day, I mean, you talking about the managers, GM, because the company we was based in the suburbs at the time. So every time I would walk in, everybody would call me Robinson Street. It was crazy how people was just recognizing me for this one street. And it just took off. Unbelievably took off. And there's least to say that I stuck in that industry for a little minute. And I made a substantial amount of money. My first year, I made well over 6 figures in the satellite industry. commissions, you just like I said, you had to write quite a bit of business to see a substantial amount of money, but you were hitting bonuses and all type of stuff during that time. And I had made a decent living coming out of the first year in the satellite industry. And I didn't even really know the product and service right off the rip, because all I knew was my background. I educated myself. Of course, they taught us the packages and all of this stuff, but I had to learn what to say and how to say it to customers in the house. So I got really, really good at it. And I think I want to say I stuck in the industry for about maybe about 6 years, maybe 5 or 6 years. I stuck in that industry. And let's say there's probably longer than that, because I dibbled and dabbled back and forth for some years. So I want to say I might have stayed in it. I want to say maybe off and on for about 13, 14 years. Because at a point it was really heavy, late 90s to probably the mid 2000s. Yeah, somewhere around there. And the industry started changing a little bit at that time. So I got off and doing something else. I was doing other products, but I was still making a little bit of money in that industry, but I kind of went on to do other things. So I just wanted to story tell a little bit on that, guys. So, I always give y'all guys, I always try to give y'all some nuggets at the end of the day. I always say this: what I've learned in door-to-door sales is picking the right product at the right time. And when I got into the alarm business, selling home security systems, I got into it at the right time. It was fresh. It was new. It was something people wasn't doing at that particular time. So it's kind of like, how people get into those network marketing campaigns. And, when they get into those network marketing campaigns, when you get in them when they fresh and you new, then you can really get in and make a substantial amount of money. So for me, I was good at that. I would get into a lot of these business opportunities and I would flourish. I would be good at it because I got into them on the beginning. So just to say this, that's what I'm really good at, guys, picking product and service. So many great industries out here right now. I know people doing satellite television. And let me school y'all guys a little bit about satellite. I'm sorry, not satellite, but solar. Solar, great product. I tell people, get in. It's great money in it. People making $500,000, $200,000, $300,000. Some people making $1 million if you're really, really good at it. But I always say this: get in and get your money. Every industry changes. Every industry changes. And when they go through their changing period, they kind of, not to say, they make it where you got to be incredibly educated and know your product and service. It's like they weave out the bad apples. You just can't sell to anybody, and you got to be able to make it you got to be either more precise and more perfect to sell that product and service. So solar is coming, guys. But good luck, man. A lot of you guys are making great money. Do your thing. But I'm here to educate you guys. I'm here to tell you the real. I know about getting in on ground floor on great opportunities and pushing the market and making great money, like a lot of these companies are doing today. I made great money in different type of industries going door to door. So ain't nothing. I'll tell y'all about more products I push door to door over time. But just like I said, throwing you guys nuggets. When you get into these opportunities, you got to take a full advantage of them. You got to get in and work them like you never worked them before, because they do change on you guys. And your money will get funny. In other words, you got to change with the times, and if you don't change with the times, it reflects on your paycheck. So anyway, guys, love talking to you, love making videos, and of course, guys, got more nuggets, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Talk to you guys.